things are going. Checking if Twitch has picked it up. Checking. Alright, starting to come in, that's good. And checking on Twitch to see whether it's playing. Probably it'll work. I should also remember to start it on my phone. Yep, it's live on that one. Okay, so today I kind of want to play around with my my stream notes. Checking. Okay, let's see. It says it's live. So my idea here, let's switch to the desktop view. Double check. Yep. Oop. Yeah, close enough. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to have stream notes so that just in case people join midway, I can help people catch up, copy and paste interesting things instead of, trying to get it out of the video. Doesn't make sense. Just have a web page where people can go and copy and paste things, and also see what they missed if they're joining late. So that's what I hope this stream.sashachua.com, the index page of that, will eventually be. And right now it's powered by impatient mode, so it's a little inefficient. It keeps refreshing, I think. But hey, it's there. So let's see how that looks. How do I tell it? Let's see. Okay. Oh yes, I wanted to check how the page looks. And that, of course, is going to over here. And you'll notice that if I type dated during idle times by impatient mode. If I type, theoretically, things just show up there without anyone needing to refresh. So that's a overall goal. And now I want to make sure that if I add timestamps, I think that would be even cooler. I don't know if Twitch makes it easy to jump around, or if YouTube makes it easy to jump around the video while it's being played. Probably. Let's go see. Oh, can't hear me. Can't hear me. Why can't you hear me? Testing. Something. Oh, wait, let me check the audio volume. Oh. Haha. Okay, this is much better. Now, how do I make sure there's no feedback loop? Okay, I have to make sure to add a setup step in my thing to set my mic source to full volume. Okay, alright, now that we fix that, next up is check if the timestamp code that I put in will work. Hello world, testing timestamp message. Oh, and I've forgotten to join Twitch IRC. Let's see. Okay, so let's try another timestamp message. Another timestamp message goes here, and my goal is to get it. It's not showing up in the timestamps. Okay, so let's see if so my goal here now is to get the timestamps to show up somewhere in this file, so that theoretically, if you were in something, is there a way to? Hang on a second. Twitch TV. I'm just going to check if I can go back in time in Twitch. Like if there's a point to adding timestamp notes. there doesn't seem to be a way to go back in time in Twitch. Unless somebody with more experience can tell me. Can you actually, like, if I happen to have, okay, so YouTube allows you to go back in time, so it's still useful to have timestamp nodes. It's just not going to be useful for Twitch. YouTube Live might be a good way to do that. Okay, anyway, I still kind of want to get it working. So I started working on it in here, I think, stream message, where I said if I'm streaming, then I want to go to the page, look for the search thingy, and insert it. And let me just double check that this is actually, oh, that's weird. Why isn't it recording? Is it supposed to be recording? Oh, that's why. My thing is no longer set up to automatically record while it's doing this. So, profile settings. Okay, let me switch first to intermission mode. So, editing my OBS settings. Automatically record when streaming. Yes, please. Okay. Alright. So then, if I go back to my desktop, I'm just going to change this to a streaming P, since I don't have my recording stuff set up. I set it up to recording before, so that it would be useful even if I'm doing it locally. But stream times 6, I think, seconds. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so this is another test message. And let's see if it shows up in my, what did I call it? Index.org stream. Ah! Alright! Okay, so theoretically, if you were watching this in a platform that allows you to go back in time, then you might be able to use this to go back to, you know, if I happen to mention something interesting, then you can go back in time and look at that. I don't know when I'm going to say something interesting, but it's there. Okay, that's pretty neat. So thanks for our premise for telling me about what Twitch lets me do and whatnot. Okay, so that's all sorted out. The other thing I was kind of thinking about was whether I should play around with my captioning thing to allow me to dictate into Emacs, which might be fun. Okay, let's see if I can actually get it working again. Okay, so where did I have code for this? Changing my caption thing to allow me to insert text into Emacs. Okay, so let's see. Where did I put that caption stuff? Caption. There's something about a websocket. Oh. Okay, don't panic. Streaming. Okay, here we go. So what I want to try now is I want to get it to connect. So I need to stream captions WebSocket connect. Okay, so now it's popping up the captions, and it should be sending captions through to Twitch and to YouTube. And then what I want to do is I want to have a defar my screen captions insert. Non-nil means insert into the current buffer, which should be interesting. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to get it to insert the caption when I say stuff, which some kind of hook here. Where would I stick that hook? On message. Okay, so this is where it is. So instead of just adding the caption, I also want to add a function. Let's see. When my stream captions insert the caption text. Caption. Okay. All right. So that's going to be a little bit silly. So I'm definitely going to want a Hydra that toggles it on and off, and I have to remember to stop talking at some point in order to try that. So let's take this this name here and go to my stream. Oh, def Hydra. My stream. Yeah, it's a pretty def hard to define, in fact. Okay, so I want to try. I don't have an I bound to it yet, so I can just say my stream captions insert caption, and this is a toggle. And of course it's going to be all incorrect, but let's try it. So if I say F8, is that still my, yeah, okay, F8, and I say I, oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, I already have an I. It's currently set current scene, so I can't use I clearly. I have to use something else. Capital I? Oh, needs to be a command. Okay. Oh, of course. Okay, so it's okay. Gotcha. Insert caption. And really this should be a mode, but I'll get around to it later. Where did I put that? Defar mic. Okay, my stream captions insert. Define my stream captions insert. Secu my stream captions insert. Not my stream captions insert. It's like just need a mode for that, but we'll work with this anyway. Just for testing purposes. Interactive command. Gotcha. Interactive. This is a test of the automatic dictation system. Oh my gosh, it actually works! Would you look at that? Now I can dictate into Emacs using Google's speech recognition thing. It's not perfect. It's nowhere close to perfect, but it might be interesting. What? Okay, that's terrible. I think we're seeing the right window in the stream. Are we seeing the right window in the stream? Okay. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Is that showing up for you? Alright, so my idea for this is that when I'm explaining things, sometimes I want to capture the text at the same time so that I can just write the blog post afterwards. Now, if I do that into the buffer that's controlled by impatient mode, then things should also automatically show up on the stream page on the web. and let's check. And let's check it out. Okay, so the way that it works is there's a node process that uses the Google Speech API. It also has a WebSocket server, and Emacs connects to the WebSocket server. Whenever the Google Speech API finalizes a caption, comma, it sends it to the WebSocket server, comma, and Emacs picks it up from there, period. Then Emacs sends the caption to Twitch and YouTube, comma, and inserts it here, period. And you can all laugh at the weird things that it comes up with, period. Speech API needs to be in quotes. And I need to stop talking when I'm actually coding or switch it back to regular mode. I can actually tweak the way that the speech recognizer picks up things by passing phrases to it, apparently, but that can be a task for another day. What? What do you mean my browser doesn't support SVG? Excuse me, my browser supports SVG. Kenji? Does it do the right thing? Oh. Well, I will figure out. Okay, I just had to save. Now there are images in my. Okay, so what do we have so far? We have timestamps for people on streaming platforms who can actually go back in time. And we have stream notes, and we have dictating into stream notes. So I think that's pretty cool. Is there anything else I should do to make life easier for people who are checking out the stream, like mid-thought? So, since you're all like here and hanging out, what else can make your life easier in terms of copying and pasting things? Code. Code is. Did I put it in here already? Is it in here? Okay, so it's in here. So yeah, continuous streaming of the Google Speech Recognition API. CXP custom ID speech to text. Probably makes sense. Put that there. And then there's this like node file that I haven't yet figured out what to do. I have to tinker with it, but anyway, it's there. Okay. That was not actually what I was doing yesterday, but I kind of wanted to try that. So if people can come up with others, if you happen to have other suggestions for new interesting things you can do, then feel free. And if not, I can go back to the thing that I was doing yesterday, which was editing the incremental parsing with tree sitter talk, which actually just it got me thinking about incremental exporting of org mode, which would be really nice if somebody could figure out how to do that. But for now, I can. Sorry, the Node.js thing that I was mentioning earlier was this. It's actually Node.js, and speech has got the test.js. Oops, that's not it. It's actually in code speech. Test.js. Any luck doesn't have any passwordy thingies in it. Okay, all right. So basically, all it does is it's the infinite streaming example from Google's Cloud Speech API documentation, plus a WebSocket server. So all it does is it takes the finalized thing, the finalized transcript, and writes it out to all the WebSocket clients who are connected to it, and then Emacs picks it up from there and does stuff with it. So this is JavaScript, and at some point in time it will cost money, but I figure captions might be interesting, especially if we can get a workflow sorted out for EmacsConf, and if I can use it to dictate to Emacs, then bonus. So that's the thing. I just haven't gotten around to figuring out how to properly share this Apache license thing. Anyway, so that's that. But that's a basic idea. You just take the infinite streaming example and you stick a WebSocket server on it, and then you're good to go with the rest of the code coming from my config, which I should publish and post somewhere. So let me just go do that. And then at some point I'll figure out the phrases thing so that it'll actually understand what Emacs is. Commit message. Add more journal things. Add speech to text into Emacs. Okay. Anyway, that should be it. Up at /virtualcom.emacs. See if it shows up there. What did I call it? Continuous streaming. There you go. Oh, almost there. Not quite there yet. Eventually it'll show up there. There you go. There's my stream captions insert. Okay, where were we? So the next part, I probably don't need captions on. So I'll kill my thing. And the next part I wanted to do was just edit this file. Except there's a cat biting my ankles. Hang on a sec. What's going on with the cat? Alright, back from the cat break. Okay, Emacs Talk 23. Let's edit subtitles. Alright, things are working out nicely. Where were we? BTT? Yeah, I still have it. Okay.
As you can see, it's always.
How do I lower the volume in PV?
Then also note that property accessors and property assignments are highlighted differently. What I like the most about this is that new bindings are consistently highlighted. This included local variable, function parameters, and property mutations.
9 and 0. Okay.
Before going through the
Okay.
queries and the syntax highlighting customization
here we
options, let's take a brief look
Some
at the
decorates are
core
highlighted
data.
correctly. Function calls are also
Sure.
highlighted.
Then also note that property accessors
Accessors.
and property assignments are highlighted differently.
Like Tonant was
What
probably
I like
working
the
off a
most about
script,
this
so
is that new bindings
in the
are
future we could
consistently
ask people
highlighted.
for their scripts and
This
just
included
use those
local variable,
to make these
function
captions. These
parameters,
captions are automatically generated by
and property
Google from the
mutations.
videos I uploaded on YouTube. So now I'm editing them because
Before going through
technical
the
terms,
queries
spacing.
and that's highlighting
It's kind of nice when
customization
subtitles are like logically
options. Let's take a brief look
phrased.
at the core data structures and functions that treat
So people have asked, like to not have subtitles that have just one word or are broken off in strange places. So I'm editing them because it feels like a nice thing to do.
used to parse different languages. By signing this included local variable, function parameter, and property mutations.
What did I do with this? I think I might
Before
have
going through the three queries and the syntax highlighting customization options,
downloaded them by
let's take a brief
hand
look
and renamed
at the core
them,
data
but now
structures
I
and functions
have
that
since then
provides.
realized that YouTube
So
DL
parsing is
will
done with the
download
help of
captions
generic parser
automatically.
object.
So,
A single parser object can be used to parse different
should I be reading questions out loud so that
assigning different language
the video is not so confusing? Anyway,
The
there
language
it
objects
says
themselves are
you
loaded
use
from shared
YouTube
library.
DL to download and correct the captions.
Since trees
I downloaded them manually because for some reason I found I think the SBV version or the SRT version easier to work with than the WebVTT version that YouTube creates. At some point I will figure out how to work with the WebVTT version, they have an interesting JSON 3.1 also that has per word timing, which might be useful. But back in November, December-ish, I downloaded all the VTTs by hand. Sorry, the SVVs, and then I converted them, and now we have VTTs. And I'm just editing them so that they're nice and easy to read, and maybe we can get a transcript out of them and so forth. But yes, you can do YouTube DL as well to do it automatically. Before going through the what?
going through the three queries,
Three queries.
That's highlighting customization options.
So our core data structures.
Let's take a brief look at the core data. Let's take a brief look at the core data
Okay, good.
structures
It looks like
and
my
functions
timestamps are
that
back in
tree
order.
provides. So parsing is done with the help of a generic parser object. So parsing is done with the help of generic parser object.
Yeah, that's one thing. And it's also loaded
Single parser object.
Since trees parsing code in a subject
Can be used to parse different languages by assigning different language objects to it. The language objects themselves are loaded from shared is it an opaque object? So this is it an opaque object? So this is not very useful. We can instead ask what is its type.
So let's see if my splitting is
Point.
here.
At point. We can ask TreeCito what is the at point. At point.
Is it still splitting in half? Hang on a second.
We can ask TreeCito what is the.
So I expect this to be pretty close to this one. 27. Oh, that's not right. I ended up with greater one. Okay, so let's see what my playback position is. Format seconds. Actually, wait. Minute. What? Do I even have a format seconds here? That's what I wanted. Subhead. BV playback position. I was having a bit of a problem before with my not getting the right splitting points. 1127. Oops, that's not what I want. See? That's more like it. Okay, so that's correct, but my splitting is incorrect. So let's double check what the definition of subtitle is here. Offset should pick it up from the fraction, and it should not be greater than, of course. So for this one, that's beginning and that's the end. What I wanted to do is I wanted to guess if my playback position is not within the current subtitle anymore, then I would like it to figure out, based on the fraction of where I am, how much to allocate to the first subtitle and how much to allocate to the second subtitle. So text fraction should be closer to the other one. And then the time fraction is multiplied by the text fraction. We start and again. Okay, sure. Okay. So what I have to have here is I need to tell it that if the subhead MPV playback position is beyond, oh, I do have that. Okay, so here. And yes, that's correct. Okay. So what is the new start timestamp here? 11:27:97. How does that make sense? Wait a minute. What's my... Do I need to divide this? Okay, what's my orig start? And let's check. Original start time is 11:25:279. Okay. And what's my original end? 11:20. That's correct also. And what's my time fraction? Two seconds. Wait a minute. What's orig end? Original end minus original start. How long is this? This is... Hang on a sec. 11:27. 11:25. Okay. How do I end up with more than 2 seconds? That's not 2 seconds. That is less than 2 seconds. So, that is... Am I doing this wrong? Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm sorry. Well, it's a good thing I haven't sent this patch in yet, because it's... So my goal is to have it split up the subtitle implicitly based on the fraction. But if it's giving me timestamp beyond the end of the subtitle, that's just weird. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. This fraction, text fraction. 1/6. Okay. So the new start time should be 6. Start. New start timestamp. Okay, let's double check this. Okay, we've got a new start timestamp, which is 686,974. That's the new start. We say that this is orig start. Oops. 685279 is the original start. And orig start should be writing these things down. Okay. Can you just kill me? No, I can't kill me. Okay, fine. Oh, I can use it in here. Figure out what's going on with my subtitle splitting. Orig and minus orig start. I think 21. Yeah? 1921. Okay. And what is start. 685, 279. And we say that of course I have to say stream captions WebSocket disconnect. Stop. Because it was still trying to get captions. Okay. Alright. So where were we? We're here. Start is there. Sorry, Arprimus, is asking what is used to sync between the playback and the subtitles? Do you mean this is subed.el. Subed is a mode that can take the timestamps from the subtitle file and send them to MPV, which is the media player, because Emacs, and it's been pretty cool. I like being able to jump quickly to the playback. It's got a lot of automatic features, like you can tell it to synchronize your point to the player, or the player to the point, or to loop over a subtitle again and again until you decide to move on. Anyway, it's really cool, and I'm trying to tweak it to split things the way that I want to, but I'm getting slightly confused. So y'all get to see me be confused. Great. Text fraction is 0.88, so you'd expect that the text fraction of a rig. Am I running into problems with really small numbers? And I would start 1695. Okay, so start plus that $686,974. Is not the answer I was looking for. 685,279. Okay. Let's double check where I am in this list. Alright. Then let's add 1,000 to it. 686. 2679, that makes sense. Let's add 8. What? Okay, so that's interesting. Let me just double check this. So that's what I expect. But if I add 600 milliseconds to it, I get an answer I don't expect. Why don't I expect that? Am I adding this wrong? Let's slow down. Six, 879. Short. 5, C times 1686. That's the that's a second. Oh wait, hang on a second. What am I trying to do here? Okay, so I've got this. So if I say this is 686, 1126. All right, 686.5, 1126.5, 686.8. But am I not reading format seconds properly? Oh, is okay. S takes its additional optional parameter introduced by the comma to say how many decimals to use. Right. So is it rounding up? Is that what's happening here? Is format seconds tripping me up? All right. Second question. Does subed use format seconds? It does use format seconds. Aha. And the way that it does that is it divides and then changes it. So let's not use format seconds. Let's use subed vtt msex to timestamp, which is probably what I should have been doing from the beginning. And the way that it does that is it gets around that whole division thing. So it sounds like what I should do is I should give it 687. I should give it a whole number. So that's correct. Okay, if that works, then what's my problem here? Why am I getting something different? Oh, it's because I'm multiplying it by a decimal here, and what I need to do is I need to ceiling or floor it. Probably floor. Okay, so let's say that time fraction is floor. Oops. And then I think it should get me a proper number that will now do the right thing. Okay, so where were we? What is... Yes! Yay! So what happened there was like if you pass format seconds a decimal number, it rounds. Subed gets around this by manually inserting the decimal part of it. But because I was multiplying it by a fraction, then it was getting confused. So I might have to double check my timings on the other files. But this is where we got. This is what we got. Okay, all right. So we're back to normal.
Is the syntax node at point?
Yep. Said what is the type?
So its type is the symbol comparison operator. In Triciter there are two.
There are two kinds of methods.
Types of anonymous nodes and name nodes, on the other hand, are grammar elements. They are interesting enough on their own elements. They are interesting enough on their own to have a name. like an identifier
okay, so
expression?
So the discrepancy
Or
only
function
showed up
definition?
because, our premise is asking if I need to go back and check over what's gone before, and why the discrepancy is only showing up now. The discrepancy is only showing up now because I wanted to do that clever splitting that doesn't require me to be actually playing it back and pausing at the right spot. I noticed that when I was splitting subtitles, sometimes I wanted to split them just on the last word of a subtitle. And when you're listening to the subtitle being played back, it's sometimes hard to get that last word in. So if I would have to keep looping, and then it would be past the playback position, and I'd be slightly grumpy about it and go back. So I should probably go back and fiddle with that. I was fiddling with that today, so that if I split it when the playback position is gone past, it will just try to guess what time to use, and that's probably reasonably okay. I may want to double check and going backwards to see if any of the files that I've uploaded have timestamps that overlap, like if a subtitle ends before the other subtitle starts, because then that might indicate that I've run into this bug before and just not noticed it because I wasn't paying close attention to the subtitle end times. But for the most part, since it's okay for a subtitle to go on for longer than it needs to, the media player will just show the two subtitles on the screen at the same time. It's not a huge deal. But if I can tweak it so that it works, so much the better. So the subtitle start, with my splitting code, the subtitle start has been, actually you're right, the subtitle start has been changed also because of the way that I use my splitting code. I think the solution is that I will just go back and tweak it if somebody tells me the subtitles are egregiously timed. Yeah, I think it'll have to be that way, because for the most part, a little bit of lag in the subtitles might not be that bad. So we'll just have to see. And if I do find that I need to fix it, then I can write another command that helps me just tweak the starting and ending subtitles. We'll see. Anyway, this is all totally for fun and greater skimming. It's under skimming. So like, for example, if I'm not playing this back, and I want to split this, I don't expect it to split at 12:33. I want it to split somewhere close to 12:33:20. And indeed, it does try to pick a reasonable time. This might allow me to edit subtitles even when I'm not listening closely to the playback, which can be handy for just skimming through it.
Name node types as symbols. While anonymous node types are strings. For example, if we are on this comparison operator, the node type should.
APIs to
Yes.
query.
There are many other APIs to query a node's property. There are many other APIs to query a node's property.
This black language.
This language supports pattern matching by node types, field names, and predicates. It also allows capturing notes. So in this very simple query, we just try this S sign tells Tricitor to capture a note in the context of query builder. It's not very important, but in more highlighting, it's not very important.
So
but in
split it
normal
properly.
highlighting query, this will determine the phrase used to highlight. Suppose we want to capture all the function names. Instead of just any identifier, we can improve the query like this. Here we can see that single quote strings and double quote strings are highlighted the same. But in some places, differently. For example, if the string is single quoted, we may want to highlight it as a constant. Let's try to see whether we can distinguish these two cases. So here we get all the strings. To check whether it's the first character of the note. To check whether it's a single quote or in this case,
yeah, it split it reasonably well.
Use a match predicate to check whether the string, whether the note to check whether the string, whether the note starts with a single quote, and with this pattern start with the single quote, and with this pattern we only capture the single quote string. but we also don't want to give the capture a different name. It says we want to highlight it can also be set for
It's working.
a single project using directory local variable. For example, let's take a look at Emacs source code. So in Emacs C source, there are a lot of uses of this different macro, uses of this different macro to define functions. But you can see this is actually the function name, but it's highlighted as the string. So what we want string. So what we want is to somehow recognize this part and highlight it as highlight this part with a function phrase instead. In order to do that, we put a pattern in this project directory local setting file. So this is phrase like we want. It's only this part. So it is a function call where the name of the function is different. Then we highlight the different as a keyword. Then we highlight the different as a keyword. And then the first string element. We highlight it as a function name. The package pre-setter length. Therefore, I've created the language bundle package pre-setter. Therefore, I've created the language bundle package pre-setter length. That takes. Therefore, I've created the language bundle package pre-setter length. That package pre.
Oh, language bundle. It's on the slide.
Length. That takes care of pre-compiling grammars. Most programmers for all three major platforms. It also takes distributing these binaries and provide some highlighting queries for some of the languages. It should be provided by the language major most themselves. Since the core already worked reasonably well, there are several areas that benefit from the community's contribution. There are several areas that benefit from the community's contribution. Since the core already worked reasonably well, there are several areas that benefit. So tree-setters upstream language repositories already contain highlighting queries on their own. So tree-setters upstream language repositories already contain highlighting queries on their own.
I don't know what that word is.
However, they are pretty big.
Upstream language.
Tree-setters upstream language repositories already contain highlighting queries on their own. However, they are pretty basic. And they may not fit well. However, they are pretty basic. And they may not fit well with existing Emacs conventions. Therefore, the language bundle has its own. This requires maintenance until language major modes adopt tree-setter and maintain the code. This requires maintenance until language major modes adopt tree-setter and maintain the right. As you have already seen, you just need to be familiar with the language, familiar enough to do your mod. Initially, maybe as an optional feature. The integration is actually pretty straightforward, especially for syntax highlight. That relies on tree-setter from the very beginning. The code for such a major mode is quite simple. For what mode for WebAssembly, the code is just one page of code. Not bad. Not a lot. Learn more about it.
And that's done.
I think that's it for
So
me today.
let's
Happy
go
to
change
answer
that.
any questions.
And 3. The questions file, main 1. And then let's find the talk page. Info 3. Now we have subtitles for this one. And I think I have this as well. So let's see if I can use that. Main video. And then I'm going to break it up into paragraphs. At some point I'll use chapter markers for this, but in the meantime, we got this slightly manual process. Copy statement. Maybe that's too many paragraphs. Well, let's break it up and I can take a look at that. actually notice over here. No, the question is, does the file contain markers for slide changes, or also include markers for slide changes? The video and the automatically generated captions do not. However, WebVTT does allow you to include chapter markers, and once you figure out how to, like which player to use to show the chapter markers, then it'll be easier to jump around within the thing, based on the slide changes, which will probably be manually noted. I've been thinking about writing on, I don't know, figuring out enough OpenCV to detect scene changes in the video file in order to automatically extract the changes, the slide change timing, but that might be a project for another time. Be cool though. Okay, so let's see. Transcript. Yep, there's that transcript over there, and we want to say view transcript. Let's look at the file for 22. And what did I do with this? Oh, I said it's vid ID. Vid ID, and view transcript goes to transcript over there. It's 12:22, so I better finish up soon. Okay, so what do I need? I need to add this. I got that. Switch these changes. And let's see if it works. So theoretically, should show up now. So just that addition allows us to have download subtitles, download compressed view transcript. Let's see if the subtitles show up properly.
Hello everyone, my name is
Beautiful.
Examples.
Okay, and then over here there should be a reasonable looking transcript. And then you can probably even click on any sentence and jump to that part.
And highlight it.
So that's a process of editing the transcripts. And that way it's a little bit more skimmable in case you don't have the time to watch the whole video. You can take a look at that. And someday, if we want to include the slides in there, that would be great. Next step would be to do the next one, which is the Q&A video, which certainly doesn't have a script, right? Although since the Q&A is over here as well, it's also there's a backup plan for it already. Thus, our premise has a question: How long did it take me to develop all of this? It didn't take me a lot of time. A lot of the work comes from. It's done by R&D users subtitle editor for Emacs. That's the one that's responsible for talking to MPV, which is the media player, so that you can easily synchronize it, edit things, you can pick up the timestamps and so on. I added WebVTT support because originally it just worked with SRT, and as you've seen, I've been playing around with a slightly buggy, presumably slightly less buggy today, way to split things automatically even if I'm not listening to the subtitles. The little thing over here that allows me to take the directives, the transcript to turn this into, to turn the web VTT file into the stuff that gets pasted at the bottom. It's very hacky, but it's icky-wiki syntax and allows me to then make this. That took me, I think, an evening to hack together. And user interface, it still needs tweaking, but I figure people sometimes want to be able to jump to a specific section. And we've got all this timing information anyway, so we might as well use it. So, dribbles and drabbles here and there, because I really only have maybe an hour or two of discretionary time after the kiddo goes to bed. But we've got all of the day one talks subtitled already. And I just went through them one by one. And now we're working our way through the developer talks. So we're here. Number 23 is what I was just doing. And I look forward to getting through the rest. Bevin, 182, remember? Has also been helping with transcribing some of the other talks, starting from the bottom going up. And eventually we'll get all of it transcribed, with any luck, before the next Emacs Conf. But yeah, I just wanted it to be a little bit more searchable, because I know what it's like to not really be able to watch videos for a long time. So, thanks for hanging out. More whenever I get around to it. So Saturdays I usually do my weekly review, but I might be able to squeeze in some Emacs time after that. And Emacs News is like Monday evening, because I get like the time span for Emacs News is like until midnight on Sunday, but I really shouldn't be staying up late doing this sort of stuff. So Monday evening I'll probably work on Emacs News, and in between, little things that come up when little ideas that come up when it comes to Emacs, or more subtitles. There's always that to work on. All right. I'm kind of really looking forward to some of this stuff, because I didn't actually get to watch the Emacs Conf talks. I was too busy running around and, worrying about tech checks and scheduling and all that stuff. So this is actually my first time listening to the talks, and it's nice to just slow down and make sense of the subtitles and remove people's filler words when they're improvising and saying lots of and and just making things look easier. The post command error in my mini buffer. Something is looking for Selectrum is active. I might have some version mismatches. I've been playing around with Selectrum and Embark and Consult. And I'm not entirely sure I've got everything just right. Selectrum is, it doesn't seem to be in my code. It's something else that's messing up. Yeah, see, void variable Selectrum is active. Let's just say secu Selectrum is active. It just probably means that I might need to update Selectrum, which upgrade. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay, so Selectrum. I might just need to fetch it. Selectrum. Sure, try this live. Okay. Okay. Alright, how do I do this? Quokka, Selectrum, fetch GitHub, repo, what's this? Sod 502 Selectrum. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. So I think that should properly do the Selectrum is active. I don't know what it's asking for. Anyway, Consult seems to think that Selectrum should have a Selectrum is active. And we'll just have to see what Selectrum thinks about it. In any case, I can get it to be quiet by just sneaking right. Alright, big stretch, 12:30, so I should get off to bed. Thanks for hanging out, and see you some other time.